Hey guys, Stock Saturday and Trading 212 have put the free share link back in, so I'll put that down below if you want to sign up and get free share and open an account. So quite a good week this week, up about 5,000. Good amount of that has come from the crypto miners. So Argo and Hive doing quite well. I have made a sale. Freeport McMoran starting to sort of potentially look a little bit high on copper. They get sort of great deal of revenue from copper, and I thought I would sort of take a little bit of profit. So I've sold half of the position, and I took the opportunity to put that into half into Hive and half into Argo blockchain. The sort of crypto prices are moving up, and the miners don't quite sort of seem to be following as much. I am mindful that there is sort of a lot more hash rate coming onto the scene than sort of expected last year. Sort of a lot of new miners and a lot of the sort of existing ones looking to really push out their operations, and even energy companies getting into it as well now. So yeah, like Argo's Texas facility is sort of really going to have less of an impact than previously thought. It's sort of catching up with what everyone else is doing now, but it should still be positive, and a rise in the Bitcoin price should sort of be amplified by both. So yeah, I thought I would buy that, but maybe doesn't seem outrageously low as sort of some people are sort of saying without looking at the hash rate and the difficulty. So they'll get less sort of per month per exahash of hash rate. But yeah, this lot is sort of up about 3,500 overall. Chinese stocks doing a bit poorly again, but there you go. Long term on that. So yeah, not a huge amount of move in the ISA. That's largely Argo blockchain. The REITs sort of largely very flat. Argo itself is up about 13.7%, so that's pretty good for the week. But yeah, just kind of thought sort of from the lows, it may have gone up a little bit more, but maybe people are starting to look at the other miners and their sort of burgeoning operations. First Majestic hasn't really moved. Yeah, as I say, very little sort of in this portfolio has moved, to be honest, except Argo. So yeah, we'll go straight to the invest account where I've done a little bit more trading as well. So it's up 1,000, not a huge amount, but I have made some changes. So Alphabet and Apple doing quite well. The tech stocks sort of coming back a little. Again, not sure whether this is sort of positive reaction to finally getting an interest rate rise, or sort of potentially people thinking the war might be not lasting as long as we all sort of think. But yeah, they're certainly rising. But the sale, you may notice Archer Daniels Midland missing. So I sold out of that completely. Had sold sort of part of my stake previously, a little bit early maybe. It was sort of, I think, $85. I think we're up to sort of, what are we at? 93.50 now. So yeah, I did sell at just touching $90 on this sort of spike. It's gone up a little bit more since then, but yeah, this sort of seems to be largely based on sort of inflation and partly the war, which I don't like to be sort of holding long term. They're sort of trading at about 17 times forward earnings now for the year. Even sort of, I think, touching 17 times the 2023 projected earnings even sort of with another sort of 5% bump added on, they're not exactly growing revenue and profits all that much, unless sort of, unless the war carries on. So yeah, I thought I would take profits on that entirely. And the other one, just sort of looking, Lockheed Martin. So had sort of sold some of this previously at sort of in the 440s. Very briefly, I was sort of looking at it at 470 and I didn't sell. But yeah, again, sort of this is doing well sort of from the war. There's earnings sort of projections slightly ticking up. Sort of countries and anticipating spending a bit more on military spending. But yeah, I just can't see that all that much of it is going to come Lockheed's way. They're getting orders, but yeah, it just seems again a bit premium, sort of 16, 17 times earnings. Not projected to grow tremendously over the next few years, and they sort of don't often trade very much higher than that. So yeah, I decided to take profit and sort of put it into areas that I thought were more undervalued, which I will come back to shortly. So ASOS having a sort of them and Boohoo sort of struggling really over the last few months really. They are expanding into America with their partnership, sort of the old Topshop brands and the American Nordstrom. So quite bullish for that, but yeah, they're a sort of low margin business, so inflation sort of hits that, they become sort of almost a no margin business. So yeah, kind of waiting for inflation to sort of die down a little bit, and they should do well, but not something I'm buying at the moment. Aviva doing quite well. Barrett's, yeah, 11% down. Taylor Wimpey is also down. So this seems to be just a bearishness on the housing market. I haven't seen any sort of tremendous news. We've been raising interest rates, so potentially cooling off in the housing market. So maybe people see that as a bit rough. I'll probably need to look a little bit more into detail on those, see whether anything's tremendously wrong. Business seemed fine last time I looked, but whether they'll get lower earnings from lowering house prices, expect so. Bristol Myers doing quite well. It's 25% up now, pretty good. Still looks undervalued. Broadcom just continuing to trickle up. Sort of had come down a little over sort of this crazy spike up, but yeah, now starting to do well again. They seem to do well if Apple's doing well, really. eBay slightly up. Glencore, interesting one, 5% up. It's gone back over £5 now. The sort of copper market is doing quite well, but the nickel does seem to have, I think they opened trading and it was still sort of $36,000 an ounce. Oh no, a ton. I think it's 36,000 a ton. But yeah, this was sort of a month ago. It was 24,000, and sort of it got shut, and yeah, they sort of opened it and shut it again, and yeah. So if this is sort of trading anywhere near $36,000, then yeah, Glencore should be doing quite well with sort of copper to back it up. So never did get a big position in it, but 63% up now. IMAX pretty flat for the week. Intel doing really well. Sort of talks of a partnership with Nvidia. Everyone's sort of calling them rivals. I'm not sure I would really see them as particularly big rivals, even though Intel are now getting into graphics cards. But yeah, they seem to be sort of in different markets really, but yeah, sort of a partnership on chips with those. They're hoping to sort of ease the chip shortage, so that looked good. Lennar. So this was a buy from part of the Archer Daniels and Lockheed sales. So sort of similar to the UK house builders, really. The US have raised interest rates, and yeah, expecting sort of a bit of a drop in the house prices. But even if they sort of have a bit of a drop in earnings, I thought this still seemed very good value, really. So I put a third of those sales into Lennar and sort of up that position. Meta Platforms doing quite well, up from sort of the 190s that we were at before. Micron, so yeah, this hasn't done sort of a great deal in the last week, but I still kind of thought it was very undervalued. Always seems to be sort of, right now is a bit of a rough time, but good times ahead, and good times sort of next year, and then sort of next year maybe they'll say good times next year. But I thought this looked still very undervalued, so a third of the sales went into this, a third into Lennar, and I'll just skip ahead. The other third into Samsung. So yeah, down a couple of percent for the week, but it's been sort of trickling down for quite a while. I like that they're sort of a foundry in chips, sort of not rivaling Taiwan Semiconductor, really. They're sort of second place, a definite second place, but yeah, I kind of like them. Really good balance sheet, and growing. They've sort of got the phone side. They've got consumer electronics and batteries for sort of electric vehicles and that sort of thing. Very sort of diversified company and sort of very good value. So yeah, I like Samsung. So what else have we got? Nintendo, 5%. If you haven't seen my Nintendo video from earlier in the week, then do give that a look. They're up 5%. That's pretty decent, but still looks sort of reasonable value. I did mention sort of the mobile games in the video. They do seem to be sort of backing off a little bit from that. They've shut down one of the sort of games that they develop themselves, so they sort of farm out a little bit of their mobile games to other companies like Niantic, but they were developing a sort of RPG game themselves, and they've sort of shut that down after a few years with sort of nothing on the horizon, really. So a little bit less positive, but yeah, I'm sure that's sort of just because the Switch is doing so well, so they don't see the need for mobile, but I would kind of think do both, really. Porsche hasn't really moved that much. Prosus, yeah, so 10 cents sort of down. The Chinese sort of bump that they had last week has sort of fizzled out a little bit. It was really just sort of an announcement. We really need to see some concrete evidence of what's going to happen. So that's dropped, and Prosus has dropped. Still kind of think it's fine. 10 cent looks fine to me. They had their results. People didn't seem to like them, but it's big profits for the year, so they'll continue buying things. And you still sort of got to remember they've got a sort of a portfolio with a hell of a lot of international companies now that aren't dropping. So when you get a drop in 10 cent, you're getting those companies at a discount. They still own, I think, 4% of Tesla. So sort of Tesla going up, that increases sort of the amount you could say you own if you own 10 cent. And you're getting a discount on that now. So yeah, I like Prosus. What else we got? Rio Tinto, again, sort of the base metals prices doing really well. So that's back in the green now. Shell, £21.10 now. This sort of still bugged. It shows as 100% profit. I think I am actually now getting on close for 100% up though. I think my average price was about £11 in the old shell. So yeah, doing really well. Oil and gas prices still sort of quite high. As I say before, I think they need to sort of be announcing some more green energy ventures to get the price, get the sort of PE moving up really. As long as they're seen as a sort of oil and gas company, it's not going to be that good. They'll be in single digit PE, I think. Stellantis slightly down. TSMC, still think TSMC looks really good. Taylor Wimpey 9% down, same as sort of pretty much similar to Lennar and Barrett, to be honest. Tesla 11% up. Yeah, they're moving up with the tech stocks. Kind of thought maybe I should have bought sort of a little at $700. Seems sort of a somewhat reasonable return if you really believe they're going to grow as everyone thinks. But yeah, I didn't bother. I was happy to sort of keep investing in crypto. And yeah, what else have we got? Vale sort of benefiting partly off the nickel, similar to Glencore, and sort of the iron ore price being a little bit better than the lows we had, sort of $100. So yeah, that's pretty much portfolio for the week. Yeah, let me know what's happening to you guys' portfolios, and yeah, drop a comment, like and subscribe. See you soon.